Hello, everyone. My name is Isabella, and today I want to share the most painful, heartbreaking, yet life-changing chapter of my life. This is not just a story about betrayal. It is the story of a woman who gave everything, who believed in love, who carried life inside her, and of the man who chose absence over presence, selfishness over fatherhood, lies over love. This is my story. The day my husband forgot to pick me up from the hospital after giving birth, and everything that followed. I came out of the operating room with my body aching, my heart beating harder than ever. My skin was still sticky from sweat and tears, but in my arms, I held my daughter. So small, so fragile, so perfect, that it felt impossible something this beautiful had come from me. They wheeled me into a private room. The nurses moved around, arranging things, whispering instructions. But all I could think about was Marcos, my husband, the man I thought would be waiting at the door. Maybe with flowers, maybe with a smile, maybe just with open arms. But the door stayed closed. 1 hour passed, then 2, then 3. I watched other women receive visitors. Nervous husbands carrying balloons, grandparents with tears in their eyes, siblings with bags of food. Every time the door opened, I held my breath, thinking it was him, but it never was. By 6 in the evening, my hope began to crack. I reached for the bedside phone and dialed his number. He answered with a flat, sleepy voice, as if I had woken him up. "Marcos," I whispered. "The baby's here. They discharged me today. Are you coming for us?" There was a pause. A sigh. And then the words that froze my blood. "Well, I'm with some friends. I thought maybe tomorrow." Tomorrow? My mind spun. Tomorrow? I'm here alone with your newborn daughter in my arms, and you're with friends? "Relax," he said coldly. "Just call a taxi. I'll pay you back." I hung up. I wanted to scream, to break something, to disappear. But just then a nurse walked in to check my stitches. I bit my lips so hard I tasted blood, because I didn't want her to see that instead of joy, all I felt was suffocating loneliness. When it was time to leave, I asked for help. The nurse looked at me with pity, as if she knew exactly what was happening, but said nothing. Outside, I called a taxi. The driver's eyes widened when he saw me. A fragile woman, still weak, holding a newborn, alone. "My husband had an emergency," I lied. But the truth was heavier than any suitcase. When I got home, I found him on the couch, shirt wrinkled, reeking of alcohol. He didn't get up. He didn't smile. He didn't even look guilty. "Oh, you're back already?" he mumbled. "That was quick." In that moment, hatred burned inside me. But I was too exhausted to fight. I locked myself in the bedroom with my daughter and spent our first night together rocking her while he snored in the living room. The following days, they weren't better. They were worse. My mother begged to come help, but Marcos said no. He insisted he'd take care of everything. But the truth, he disappeared for hours, sometimes days. And when he came back, he always had excuses. Meetings, projects, urgent commitments, lies that crumbled the moment I looked at his phone. Because on his phone, I found her. A woman he called my light.
"Have you talked to your wife yet? You can't keep living like this." My chest caved in, my stomach twisted, my world tilted. I confronted him one night. The baby was crying, my eyes swollen from exhaustion, and I held up the phone. "Who is she?" He shrugged. "A friend. You're paranoid." "A friend who tells you to leave your wife?" He snatched the phone, threw it against the wall. "Stop making up drama. This isn't the time." But deep inside, I knew he had already left me long before. The tension in the house grew unbearable, until one day, my mother came, unannounced. The moment I saw her, I collapsed into her arms, crying like a child, unable to hold the weight anymore. That night, I heard her voice shaking with anger in the kitchen. "How could you leave her alone in the hospital?" she screamed at Marcos. "I'm not her servant," he replied coldly. From then on, he began to manipulate me. "If you keep telling your mother things, I'll leave for good. No one will want you with a baby. Better to keep up appearances." And I believed him. Out of fear, out of desperation, out of hope that maybe he would change. But he didn't. Every day he was colder, more absent. Some nights he didn't come home at all. Others he returned smelling of a perfume that wasn't mine. When I asked where he had been, his voice cut like a knife. "Do you want me to leave you? Because if you keep this up, I will." Fear paralyzed me. I didn't want my daughter to grow up without a father. But the truth, she already was. The breaking point came when my daughter got sick. Her tiny body burned with fever, her breathing shallow. I called Marcos in desperation. No answer. My mother and I rushed to the hospital. I held her against my chest all night, praying, begging God not to take her away from me. At 6 a.m, while the doctors stabilized her, Marcos finally showed up. He didn't look worried. He looked annoyed. "Was it really necessary to make such a fuss?" he whispered. And in that moment, I knew the truth that had been staring me in the face all along. He was never truly with me. Not at the hospital, not during the sleepless nights, not now. His absence was constant, wrapped in empty promises. Back home, I searched his jacket, found a hotel receipt, recent dates. The truth hit me like ice water. He hadn't forgotten me at the hospital. He had chosen another woman instead. I stayed silent. I waited for him to leave for work. Then, with my mother's help, I began to pack. Every piece of clothing folded was a piece of pain I refused to carry anymore. Every bag closed was a door shutting on the lies. I wasn't just leaving him. I was saving myself. And more importantly, I was saving my daughter. That day, I walked away from Marcos not because I stopped loving the man I thought he was, but because I finally saw the man he truly was. And sometimes, survival means leaving behind everything you dreamed of to build a safer tomorrow for the ones who depend on you. This is my story, and my daughter and I are finally free.